Hello, it's Dan here, Colin Monroys. Hope you're all okay. Just thought I'd do a little video update. I've done anything for ages and ages and ages, or it feels like it at least anyway, um, as to what's been going on. Since the last sort of spoke to you, I've now gone self-employed doing this. So Colin Monroys is now officially a go. Um, it's developed from a hobby and a passion of mine now really to this. So I'm super excited. Really keen now to see what happens next. It's been so far this year. It's been really exciting. Obviously, we had Hornby magazine very kindly asked me to write for them, so now doing their how-to articles on a monthly basis, doing different bits and bobs. So we've had the burnt car out scene. We've had the coal yard. We've got some more in the pipeline. Obviously, I'm quite a few months ahead, so I can't tell you what I'm doing. But hopefully you'll like it. I think they're hopefully there's some sort of good tips amongst it all. So there's that one. Commissions wise, we've done Parkhead North, which has been in God. I should have done a video. I must admit, I forgot. I just got busy and forgot. This writing takes up an awful lot of my time. Modelling I can do really quick, but writing is a totally different kettle of fish. So yes, it does take up an awful lot of time, which does slow me down a little bit up here, but can't have it always. So there we go. And also we all thought this one behind us, which is Greslington. So I thought we would have a little bit of a look over that one as well. Really. So it's all go. Let's have a look. We'll do some more talking after. This is Greslington in its massive state of about 3 foot roughly. This is a baseball from Justin at Skemmore Scenery. I think it's BBO18, I think it was. I must admit the customer bought it and put it together. I've just basically built the scene up onto it really. So the first thing I did was raise the baseball up another couple of inches, so we can have a little bit of a embankment here. So that's one sort of thing I first did really. I also added a full length of hardboard right across the back, so it hides the gap in the middle between the two boards joining. Because if you can sort of see here, the boards actually join together, and also it also reinforces it, makes it stronger. So I've just glued it on to the back. So that one there. Let's go across this side first of all. Excuse me. And right, okay, so we're using a Pico bridge front or tunnel front. I like these. They're cheap and cheerful, but they just paint up really, really nice, and I think they look really, really effective. I've yet to find anything else really that sort of ticks the boxes really. You've got all the depth and sort of the small locks and bits and bobs. So I think it looks the part. The embankment and the hillside I use high density foam. You can use like your Kingspan. Just don't use the white stuff, obviously the little bubble stuff, because you just wouldn't get very far with that at all. So basically use that to carve to make my shapes on the hillsides. The rocky area here literally is a knife cut at sort of a diagonal pattern through and a bit the opposite way and pick them out, so you got kind of this rock effect. I've painted it grey, and then I've also added some burnt umber, some burnt sienna, and like a mustard colour yellow. It pretty much when it's all wet, it's almost like a live palette, should we say, really. Let that dry, and then use the black wash over it to basically let the wash fill in amongst all the cracks and make the rocks really pop. And then I've used some cream. I don't tend to use white. People can use white, but I think cream looks a little bit less harsh. And basically, literally just dry brushed, literally just kissed the edges of the rocks, which basically makes it stand out. I think that is definitely a thing to do when it comes to rocks. The grass then is believe it or not, it's actually hanging basket liner, which is just your base matting. So it's a bit like upholstery in some respects. You just basically trim this whole panel across here, right up to here. Obviously cut the hole out for maybe the rocks to go into. And then I'll go over it then with static grasses, some woodland scenic stuff, some WWS as well, and basically build up my grasses, and obviously bushes and bits and bobs. Trees, obviously a sea foam there from WWS, with obviously the scatters for scatters. With the scatters, I tend to use sort of like obviously light, a medium and a dark coloured grasses or foliage, but however I make sure the dark isn't too dark and the light's not too light, so the spectrum of colours are quite close together, so I think it looks more natural Sort of even looking through that, there really from the dark bits here to the lighter bits, it's more. I think in my eyes, it's more realistic sometimes than just having sort of some dark clumps of bush. Although you get it in real life, but it just doesn't quite look right sometimes on in miniature. It's funny how some things scale down from real life and don't look right in sort of in a smaller scale, should we say. So let's go across. The track itself is code 100. Customer specified it. Obviously, being code 100, you are safe to use older locos if you wish. The track is DCC, along with train tech point point firing device. I suppose it's got a CDU, so these are got the Gauge Master SEEP point motors in them, or not really motors, point motors in them. So that all works then off via tablet or via your Gauge Master or ECOS or whatever you're using, which is quite a nice little touch. Very simple to wire up, even for me. Work first time, no messing, no fuss. Love it. It's for something like this, it's great. I think really good. And also notice that you haven't got that horrible snap like you do sometimes with the Gauge Master CDU. I think because it's pulling 12 volts, not 16 volt AC. It's not quite so fierce. It doesn't snap quite so hard. So that's sort of something I'll notice for future builds possibly. What else are we at now? So people are from Model U. I really think by choice in clients' figures that he's chosen for Model U have really pulled it together and makes it look, I think quite believable, quite realistic. Platform buildings are from, I think, Wills, Pico. I'm not sure who it is, but they're the same company anyway. I use this station building quite a lot, but it's quite a nice sort of size building. It's quite versatile as well, so that's quite nice. Lights must be it all does light up. I must admit, I'm literally minutes away from packing it all away, so I haven't got anything plugged in or turned on. But the lights are from Layouts for You on the platforms, and there's lights inside the building as well, so they all light up as well. So that just gives a nice little ambience to it, if you so wish. We'll move across a little bit. Ground signal, again with a Model U figure. I did have to sort of just chop his arms a little bit, just to make him sort of suit the pose a little bit. Station master obviously waiting for the next loco to arrive. I think you'll be waiting there a while, matey. Veggie patch. So most sort of village sort of station platforms had a veggie patch, either sort of in or around the platform area or on the platform area. Be it only a small veggie patch, but you've got the runner beans, including the poles, cabbages, and whatever else really. I'm not too sure. I'm not really much of a gardener, to be honest with you. I'm just blacking that bit. But yeah, so that's that one there. Looking back in the line, and then we come across to this area. So obviously we've got the head shunt area here, as it's a sort of like a terminus type style end of line platform. Or station, shall I say. So we wanted to add something to this side. Now, there wasn't a fat lot of space. Originally, it was going to be a cattle dock, but there's just physically is no space there. So the next best thing we come up with really is a little wooden loading stage sort of platform. I'll put some milk churns on it. I'm sure there's a little farm somewhere down the lane somewhere that probably uses it for the odd milk churn delivery. Again, with a little embankment of seafoam trees and bits and bobs. Buffers are from DCC Concepts, and they're the ones with the little lights on the end of the buffers. The little lamps light up. Again, just add to the effect really. Looking good, I think. Point wadding is from Wales. A bit overscaled, but we haven't really got much choice there really. Model U obviously do point wadding and certain amounts of point detailing, but not everything yet, unfortunately. So we've had to go with the ease of just using the wheels, which it isn't bad. Obviously, paid more figures, more U. What else have we got on here to show you, sort of thing, really? So also, so it's quite sort of exciting, is it's also got a Gauge Master sound module. I think it must be new. I haven't seen them before, but it's about £35. But it plays on loop, sort of country sounds from church bells, dogs barking, sheep, blah blah blah, sort of thing. But it works really well, to the point where you don't notice it's on until you turn it off. If that makes sense. There's a long enough loop for you not to sort of think, oh, I've heard that before. Birds tweeting, and it really does add to the ambience of the whole layout. We've got one fitted to Little Burford, and we took it to Severn Valley Railway. People were sort of looking around, looking where the birds are tweeting, and it actually was coming from the layout. So it did, for a little speaker, it does actually work very, very well. I think that's about it, really, to be honest with you. I don't think it was, apart from muttering on. Obviously, little cast from Oxford diecast. Milk churn, I think, from Ratio, I think they were. But yeah, it's been, nearly followed myself. It's been a good fun little layout to build. It hasn't cost a fortune to build. It's just been a nice little build that one has, and quite reasonably quick as well. So always quite nice to just do something. I always, when I build these layouts, I always enjoy the last little bit, the details. I always enjoy. I think what's my least favourite? I think my least bit is probably doing the getting the track down, doing the balancing. I think the balancing could be a bit of a. I don't mind the balancing, but it just takes forever for the glue to dry and just takes time. But once you get past that point and start doing the grassing and stuff like that, that's when what really makes my boat float, shall we say. Anyway, enough rambling, that'll do. You enjoyed Greslington. For me, now it's a case of wrapping this up and getting this gone. And then my next outing for me, really now, is at the Great Electric Train Show down in Milton Keynes, or GETS, October the 2nd and 3rd. So I'll be there with little Burford, so please come and say hello. I'll be there by myself. Unfortunately, my little sidekick has got unforeseen circumstances that can't come. So so if you are there, come and say hello, give me a hand, bring me a cup of tea, cup of coffee, cake, we do cake, or bake sandwiches, that'd be good. But yeah, so 2 days by myself there, which could be fun. I could be losing a bit more hair, I think, by the end of the weekend, but never mind, we'll give it a go. But yeah, no, come and say hello, definitely come and say hello, please. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. So sorry it's been a bit of a rush job video, but I say I just ran out of time really. All right, cheers, bye bye.